Welcome to episode 11 of the Warrior Pulse. I am your host, Trey Heath. Today I am very, very fortunate to have baseball player Matt Wiseman join me. Also want to take this time to tell you to enjoy your Martin Luther King Day. Hope that you enjoy a parade, some solace time to reflect on the accomplishments of Martin Luther King and to enjoy the day with your friends and family. So today I've got Matt Wiseman joining me. He's a senior Weber baseball player. He's also a sports performance major. We're going to get into the life and times of Matt. First of all, congratulations on being a senior. That's pretty cool. And secondly, what is a sports performance major?
Well, a sports performance major, it kind of falls under the category of like a exercise science, kinesiology type of major. Basically, our whole goal is to kind of like work with athletes and be able to better them for performance on the field, similar like what our strength coaches do here.
Cool. So I was looking through some of your bio information. I see that you're from Eustis, not one of the larger towns in the state of Florida. What does a kid from Eustis do for fun? Let's go from like elementary school up through high school.
Oh, well, yeah, like you said, Eustis is not the biggest town. Basically, all I pretty much did growing up was play baseball. I like to fish a lot there too. We have a lot of lakes. It's in Lake County, so we have a ton of lakes around there. If we ever wanted to do anything extravagant, we always had to make the like hour drive to Orlando to do something because there's not really much to do. But other than that, that's really it. If you didn't play sports, it's pretty boring, honestly.
Now, and that's up in what we call North Central Florida. So you get some pretty lands and that kind of stuff. Yeah. You didn't get into cattle or horses, anything like that from there?
No, not at all. I had a ton of friends in like FFA and stuff like that. And like we actually have like the Lake County Fairgrounds right there, and a ton of people do FFA there. But no, that was never really my gig. Mostly just baseball, pretty much.
Very cool. So you play baseball, little league, high school, and then you get the opportunity to go play JUCO baseball for 2 years. Where did you play, and how was that experience?
JUCO baseball was a really good time actually. My freshman year I signed with Sanjak, and that's a junior college out in Houston, Texas. And I spent a year out there. Freshman year got to go to the Junior College World Series. It was a super fun time. Ended up coming in third, fell short a little bit, but that was just an unreal experience. Like they really rolled out the red carpet for us there. Then I ran into some things, and then I had to come back home, and then my sophomore year I played at Hillsborough Community College in Tampa, and then I graduated from there, played my year there, and then after there I came here for my junior year.
So let's talk about a guy going from small town to Houston and then to Hillsborough Community College, so you're in Tampa area. How was that adjustment for a small town kid to go to larger towns, and did you enjoy that aspect? Is that something you see yourself doing more, or are you more of a small town guy?
Man, that's a tough one. It's definitely a culture shock for sure. Like we had like 5 stoplights in our town, and then I go to Houston and there's like one every corner. It was really different, but I think for college, man, I really enjoyed it out there. Like it was a fun time, a lot of things to do, something I wasn't really used to as like a 17, 18-year-old kid going into my freshman year of college, but no, I really enjoyed it. I could see myself possibly living in a big town in the future, but I know at heart, like I'm always like a small town kind of person. Like that's exactly where I'd like to grow up.
Well, let me touch on the baseball stuff some more. What position do you play, and is that the dream position you had, or did you have a dream of being something else on the field?
Well, I came into college as a primary third baseman, and then as like the years come by, I switched positions, and now I'm actually mostly pitching. So that, if you would have told me in my senior year of college, or high school, hey Matt, you're gonna pitch, you're gonna be a pitcher your senior year of college, I would have just called you crazy. Yes. I wouldn't have expected that at all, but here I am. But I love it. It's fun. I love our staff. Like, it's really enjoyable right now.
Are you a starter or a reliever?
I'm actually a reliever. I come out of the pen. Yeah, I don't have the stamina for that right now.
All right, so that takes me to I follow a couple podcasts, and one of the guys I follow, he was a starter, became a reliever. By the way, his podcast is a 612 podcast. If you're into baseball, go listen to it. And he talks about the quirkiness of reliever pitchers. So I want to hear about some of the shenanigans that you have had over the years as you turn into a pitcher, sitting in the bullpen area, waiting in the back, and then secondly, well, hit that first. I want to know what goes on in the bullpen for these guys that get called in when it's, oh boy, it's my turn.
Oh man, for me, I'm not as, how would I say, quirky as like some of our guys, but I've played with some real nutcases that come out of the mound. Like I had like a teammate, in junior college. He would like, as soon as he was about to go into the game, would like dry scoop a piece of pre-workout and then just like full on sprint to the mound from the outfield. Like some of these guys are like actual nutcases, but me, I'm just like, I kind of just sip my water, just kind of roll out to the mound, kind of try to stay cool, calm and collected, and try to just be me. But a lot of the guys, relievers wise, they don't have it all up there sometimes.
So, speaking about the reliever side, you come in and for two situations. You're coming in because the starting pitcher has not done his job, or the starting pitcher has done his job and your job is to shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
Which one's the better scenario for you?
Oh, for me, I like coming in to try to shut things down, honestly. Like, there's no better feeling than to just roll out there for your like inning or two worth of work, and then like you kind of just complete the job and like everyone had a successful day. Like you obviously don't want to see your starting pitcher do bad. You want to see him roll through his 7-8 innings maybe, and then you come in and do your work right at the end. But I'd say coming in to shut down the job is probably the best way, because like the tempo's already flowing, like everyone's like heading in the right direction. You got people backing you up. Like that's probably my favorite scenario to come into.
As we finish up the fun sports side, I got a quick quote for you from Juliana Hatfield. Baseball is more than a game. It's like life played out on a field. Can you explain that for us?
Man, that's actually kind of deep. I've never heard that one, but I couldn't agree more, honestly. Like throughout a 9-inning game, like there's a lot of like trials and triumphs that you kind of have to roll through, and you kind of have to take some punches, or you're going to give some punches back, one of the two. But yeah, I honestly couldn't agree with that statement anymore. It really speaks to like how deep our game is. It's more than just like a sport and stuff like that to me. Like it's really strategic, and I think baseball represents life more than like any other sport, in my opinion. You could also make any other argument to any other sport, but personally, baseball just kind of reflects life to like a T for me. But yeah, that's a sweet quote.
Baseball, I have the opportunity to coach many international players on the tennis side, and they just can't quite grasp baseball. And I tell them, it is one of the most strategic games that you will ever sit and watch. And to be quite honest, watching it on TV is not always the most fun. You go to a game, you sit down, you have a pretzel, you have a beer, you have some hot dogs, and you think about the strategy that's going into that. Is that what continues to draw you into baseball? Is like, okay, this guy, we know I have to pitch inside, and if we have 2 strikes, I'm going to throw this pitch, and if there's a guy on base, we're doing this instead of this. And I think that's where that quote kind of goes, is every scenario gives you a different task in life. And I've turned a couple of my international players onto baseball fans, but you got to go to a game. And
exactly.
Do you still enjoy watching baseball, even though you play a lot of it?
I'm actually one of the few guys that thoroughly enjoys watching baseball that plays baseball. You'd be surprised how many baseball players are like, I don't like watching baseball. It's just too slow for me. But like, it's almost like a game of chess at some point, especially in like the major leagues nowadays with the pitch calling plays, like. It's super deep and like complex, and that's what really just kind of brings me into it even more. Like I want to see like how this play runs out, or what happens if he makes this pitch right here. Like all of it's just so well put together, especially at the higher the level you play, and that's honestly what keeps bringing me back into the game.
And I'll finish up with this. Baseball's kind of become an economics lesson as well. You're dealing with Moneyball stats. You're dealing with all the different tactics that they're using. So let's dive in, as since you are a student athlete, and we touched on athlete student first. So you are a 7-time Dean's List guy here. You also were a nominee for the Dr. Leroy Walker NAI Champions of Character Award. What made you a good choice to be nominated for that award?
I think I like to say that I do well in the classroom. I really take care of my stuff in the classroom first more than anything. And I feel like out on the field, I'm just like, I'd like to say I'm a good role model or a good example of like character, and that's exactly what they're kind of looking for, like in the award nominees and stuff like that. So I guess just how I am as a teammate, how I am in the classroom, really kind of just pushed me for that nomination for the award.
Since you are somewhat of that team leader, does it ever get hard having to tell a guy like, no, this isn't the right thing? And are you okay in that role? And do you feel that that's going to help you as you head off into the professional world as a business person?
You know, at some points it actually can get kind of tough to do that to some people, but here, like, well, I'm super blessed with like some of the best teammates, like especially this year. And honestly, I don't think we have like one set team leader, but we all pretty much keep each other accountable as like we should. And we're just kind of like molding ourselves into like one huge team of team leaders that holds everybody accountable. Like I'm not afraid, and so are my teammates, to just like tell someone if they're not doing the right thing or they're not in line. Like I feel like that's it. Accountability is huge with our program right now, and I definitely think that helped me out with the becoming a good character.
So you're gonna graduate, I guess, this May and
Next fall.
Oh, okay, in the fall. What is your goal with the sports performance major, and what do you want to see yourself doing 10 years from now?
Well, my goal is actually I want to apply to a doctorates of physical therapy school, actually. And so I want to become a doctor, and I want to be able to help people out in the physical therapy aspect, and just got to work on getting in like internship hours after I graduate from here, and finishing up prerequisites, and applying to schools that I could best see my future just kind of unfold in. And that's pretty much what I'd see myself doing in the next 10 years, is becoming a physical therapist.
So you started prepping for MCATs and that kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah, so I'm already like following like Twitter pages and stuff like that help you study, and I'm just like, ugh. But
yeah, shout out to my former player, Brian Slavonic. He's actually in his third year of med school, and he's doing his clinicals and all that stuff. And dude, I talked to him, and God bless you. I wish you the best of luck, but man, that is a tough road to hoe. So something a little fun. Baseball players always have these random talents. What is something that you do that no one might know about?
Actually, I put this down on the bullet points for you earlier, but I'm a very average ukulele player. Very average.
What's your favorite song?
I like No Woman, No Cry by Bob Marley. It's a fairly simple one. I can play that one pretty easily. But other than that, play a lot of video games, a lot of Nintendo, stuff like that.
Okay, two questions. One, how the heck did you get into the ukulele? And two, the song that is the most famous song, you had a pretty cool story about how that guy recorded that song. Mm-hmm. So tell me one, how does one find the ukulele?
Okay.
And two, give us a story about the song.
Well, both of them kind of correlate together. My freshman year, we had I had 3 teammates from Hawaii, actually.
Okay.
And so I got really close with one of them. His name's DJ. DJ, if you're watching this, how's it going, man? But DJ, he's a really cool guy. Like, there would be nights where he would just come over with his ukulele, and he ended up teaching me a little bit, and then I just ordered like a $30 one off of Amazon, and then he ended up teaching me the ukulele and telling me the story about the guy who made Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and like how he just like went into like the studio one day, recorded it one time, and that was it. Like, that's the famous song. And yeah, that was one of the first songs I learned too. But yeah, that's pretty much how it happened. My teammate from Hawaii really got me into it.
That is awesome. So we've touched on your sports, we've touched on academics, champions of character. So I've got a little quote here. I've got 2 more things. I got this quote and then my last question for you. Since character is important, you are an athlete, you are a great student. It says talent will get you in the door, but character will keep you in the room. What does that mean to you?
I mean, talent can only take you so far. Like, I could name a dozen kids off the top of my head that had like all the talent in the world, but like really couldn't like go somewhere with it. At the end of the day, talent's just kind of like a thing that if you have it, you have it. That's great, but work ethic and kind of like getting done what needs to be done is going to complete the job at the end of the day rather than just talent alone. I think that a lot of people that like stay in college athletics like as long as I have and stuff like that really start to realize that, especially the ones like I don't think I'm the most talented person in the world, especially baseball player, but I feel like work ethic and character really kind of kept me here this entire time.
The last thing I'm going to ask you is my final question that I ask everybody, and I've really enjoyed getting the answers. What does it mean to be a warrior?
What does it mean to be a warrior? I think what it means to be a warrior is getting through what life's dealt to you. Not everybody lives like the easiest life, maybe. Maybe everyone goes through a lot of trials and stuff, but I think a warrior is someone that really perseveres through all the trials and triumphs of life and really starts to just make something of themselves.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us. I want to thank Matt for his time. Good luck the rest of the season as we get into baseball season. And enjoy Martin Luther King Day. Thank you so much for joining us on the Warrior Pulse podcast. And y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.